Okay, I want to record a thought that I'm having, and it's that money is not efficient, right? Let me look at the definition of efficient. But money is not efficient. The definition of efficient is the ability to produce desired results or perform tasks optimally without wasting materials, time, or energy, right? And I'm just thinking about money as a resource and how efficient it's not and efficient it is. Like thinking about how much time it takes to acquire it, thinking about all the destruction, all the resources we lose in pursuit of it, thinking about all the lives lost in pursuit of it, thinking about all the years lost, right? All the connections lost, all the families lost in pursuit of money. But then also it's not efficient because it's not well resourced. Like people don't have it. Like everyday people don't have it. We spend so much of our time trying to earn money that it distracts us from actually living our life. You know what I'm saying? Like money is not an efficient resource. Money is not an efficient thing. Money is not an efficient tool, right? It's something manufactured, in my opinion. It was something created to create separation, to create inequality, to create gaps where there need not be, right? Because if there was no money, if we were not doing things for the money, right, we would be doing things for the love of it. We would be doing things for the joy of it, for someone else's benefit, right? Like, what are other reasons why you do things? Like, we would do things if we were not forced to spend every hour of our waking lives earning money, then we could actually be efficient in the world. Like we could actually do the work that we want to do in the world. But money is the thing. Money and the pursuit of money and the hoarding of money, the creation of money destroyed that. Like money itself, like green paper, right? Like there has always been commerce, there has always been trading, there has always been bartering, and there's also just been gifting. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been gifting. I talked about that in Braiding Sweetgrass. I think I read it a couple of years ago, but she had a chapter in it about the gifting economy, right? And how, you know, that term, maybe you've heard it, maybe you've not, but there's this term or this idea that you don't want to be an Indian giver. And I put that in quotes, right? Because it's dated, it's wrong, it's offensive, right? But the idea of an Indian giver, using air quotes, that being that kind of person is a person that gives but takes back, right? And the way that you got that phrase was because the colonizers came here. The colonizers came to Turtle Island. The colonizers came to indigenous nations or different islands in the Caribbean, and they saw the indigenous people sharing, right? Hey, you need whatever, I got it. So here, you can use it. And when I need it, I'm going to come back to you and ask for it back because I'm going to need it, right? Like, and doesn't that make sense? But through the white male lens, right, that was seen through the colonizer's lens, that was seen as beneath them. That was seen as like subhuman almost. Like that was seen as devolved, right? Why would you give something to someone and then want it back? Why would you share things? Why would you share resources? Why are you not trying to hoard and acquire? Because they were thinking about the whole, right? They were thinking about the person. And these are resources that we all need. I understand as a neighbor, right? You may be cooking a cake, baking a cake, right? And you need sugar. Why would I hoard my sugar when I'm not using it? And so the idea is if I were ever in need of sugar, I would be like, hey, do you have any sugar, by the way? And not because, not keeping a tally, not keeping a log of all the things you've done for people, but just because you have created a society of sharing, it is normal and natural to share. It is normal and like second nature to be like, hey, you need a thing here, I have it for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't want to see you harmed. You are me. You are my community. You are a part of me. You are a reflection of me. You are my kin. Why would I hoard things from you that you need when I got it? Right? And so the colonizers that came here were backwards thinking, and they were thinking to themselves, like, look at these stupid people sharing things and not buying things, when really they were the devolved people. They were the backwards people. They were the sick people, because why would you, in good conscience, in good faith, why would you withhold goodness from somebody who needs it if you got it? And if it ain't hurting you to give it, why would you do that? That is evil. And I really grieve because a lot of things that we do here in the States or in the West or whatever, because it's business, like we allow things to happen. Well, that's just business. Well, you got to make money. So, well, that's allowed. It grieves me because we are so compromised, and we are so, like, they have rendered us absolutely useless. Useless. Like, if you think it's okay to lock people up because they're stealing food from the grocery store, you're not my people. Like, you're not my people. You feel me? Like, that's not wrong. Every being has the right to survival. The question should be, why are we hoarding food from people when we know that people need food? That should be the question, right? Like, so going back to this Indian giver idea, a lot of folk, when I talk about capitalism and I say, like, this is stupid, like, we should just do something else, a lot of people ask me, well, then what do you suggest we do, Alecia? And they're asking not really to get an answer. They're asking to be smart, right? To be like, well, you don't know the answer. And to be fair, I don't have all the answers, right? But I know this ain't it. And how do you begin to change a system if you don't start to ask and tear apart the system? Like, what? How do you even start to think of an idea to solve this if you don't give people the space and time to even admit that this is not working? If you don't give people time to complain, they're not able to fix it. People have to complain. And they've made us so ashamed of complaining. They've made us so ashamed of complaining, of not looking like a loser, or, you just got to grin and bear it, because if you show any complaint, you're weak, right? You're broken. No, baby, the system is broken. And you all are breaking yourselves in half to uphold the system. It's literally killing you, right? But going back to the gifting economy, that existed. You're telling me that capitalism is the only way, but actually societies had other systems, like a gifting system, right? What does that look like in real life? Let's bring it, current, right? Let's bring it to our everyday lives. What does that look like in real life? And you will see that you probably already do that. You probably already lend people money, not looking for it in return, right? You're probably already sharing resources with people in your community. That's like if somebody had a lawnmower, right? Say my mom needed her grass cut. And so this has happened. My father left the house, right? And so, like, he left us. And so it was just me, my mom, and my little brother. And there was a year that this man who lived behind us came and plowed our snow for us for free using his snowblower, right? Like, we didn't pay him. It wasn't because like we had done anything for him in the past. It was because he saw a need and he knew that he had the ability to meet it, and he met it. That's it, right? And so in the same instance, if somebody had a lawnmower and you needed to cut the grass, instead of having to go out and buy another lawnmower, which doesn't make sense because you only cut your grass, even though, I'm very anti-cutting grass, but this is just for the example. But you don't need to use the lawnmower every day unless that's your work, right? So why would I buy a lawnmower when I could just ask my neighbor? Why would I buy a whole lawnmower I don't even know how expensive they are, that's just going to take up space in my garage, leak oil right into the Chesapeake Bay? Like, why would I do that? And that's my context. Why would I do that when I could just ask my neighbor and we could just use it as a community? That way, if it breaks, we can all pitch in to get it fixed. Right? It's not so heavy on one person. And so I think when we're having these conversations about what else is possible, we have to, one, look to what was, right? What was destroyed, what lies in rubble at the feet of capitalism. But we also have to use our imaginations and be like, what do I do in my everyday life already that is revolutionary, that is anti-capitalist? What do I already do? Right? Mutual aid. We already do mutual aid. If you got, like, I'm pretty sure, right? I'm not going to just assume everybody does it. But I'm pretty sure if you're Black, you already involve yourself in mutual aid, right? Pitching in for somebody when they don't have enough, going out to restaurants and paying for somebody's meal because they ain't got it like that, right? Sending somebody some gas money just because, keeping money in circulation just because. Black women do that easily. It ain't nothing. And again, shout out to my mom and my grandmother and all my aunties and the women elders that raised me, seeing them, right? Like my mother would leave my grandmother's house and, leave some money somewhere, right? We take care of each other just because if not because we feel like that, not because they're telling us that we owe them, right? Not because they're demanding it, but because we love them and we care for them. And I think that it frustrates me because sometimes it feels like people are not really looking for the answers. People are looking for excuses to keep doing what they're doing because change is uncomfortable. And I make room for that. But I'm also growing weary with the complacency, almost like the deliberate stubbornness, right? The deliberate like yucking my yum, right? Like, for example, if I have an idea, you don't get to cut down my idea because you want to keep capitalism, because you want to win. There are resources, there are things that we can do. And money is not the best way that we can do it, right? Honestly, the best way for someone to get healthcare is not through resources like money. It's through healthcare. Money is the reason why people can't get healthcare. And in a perfect world, obviously not in a world of capitalism, a person will be able to walk into the hospital and say, hey, I'm sick, or I'm experiencing this, or this is broken, and get care. It's that simple, right? But because of money, now we have insurance. Now we have all this other red tape that didn't need to exist before, right? Money creates more problems than it solves, right? We're wondering why people are sick. We can't get access to healthy food. Why? Because healthy food is placed in certain areas where there is more money. Because we have made money the goal and not nourishing people. Not nourishing as many people as we can, right? In fair and equitable ways. That's not the focus. The focus is money. And so now the creation of money has created this grand distraction. People like on a small scale, right? This grand distraction from real life because of money. And money is so cheap and people are so easily bought and compromised. And it makes me so mad. It makes me angry. It depresses me. It grieves me because life could be so good, but people are just unwilling. They're just unwilling to do the good. Like, so I'm thinking about how all this stuff, this whole system is on the backs of the poor, right? If we all decided, and I am a part of the poor, raise his hand, okay? If we all decided today to stop, this whole thing would stop. But we still doubt our power. We still doubt what we can do when we are connected and on the same page, right? And obviously we would have to come up with a plan, right? Because we can't just leave people in the hospital, right? So that means that people who got it, maybe you send some money to some doctors. Maybe you know what I'm saying? Like maybe we take care of one another so that everyone is taken care of. Who are the people that are under-resourced, right? Revolution is going to take wealthy people sharing their wealth. And y'all looking at billionaires, I'm not talking about billionaires. I'm talking about people who make 500 grand a year. I'm talking about 100 grand a year, right? Most of us are poor. If we know that inequality exists with our payment, that means we got to practice what we preach. If you're the more privileged one, then yeah, you should be shouldering more responsibility. And no, it's not fair, but that's not the point. We're talking justice here, right? We're talking freedom and liberation. We're talking creating a different society. It's not fair that the person gets paid less than you. That's not fair. It's often not fair. None of this shit is fair. Like, are we okay? This is America. None of it is fair. But you're not supposed to be operating with America's morals, right? For a lot of us, the reason why we're here is because of enslavement. You want to protect that? You want to protect their morals? You want to believe what they say is good and bad? Like, is that the standard with which you live your life? That is not the standard that I live my life by. I'm American because I am here, right? Like, not by choice. I didn't, like, does that make sense? And I honor the people of this land, and I'm not talking about white people. I honor the indigenous folk of this land, right? And they know this is not fair. You think what happened to them is fair? You think anything that happened to black folk is fair? Be serious. We're talking about righting wrongs, and we have to let go of entitlement. We have to let go of individualism. We have to let go of capitalism and perfection. Like we are doing a lot of talking, and I want to do more doing. And we can start with our own personal lives. I'm starting with my own personal life. Locally, I'm trying to shop smaller. This is just, whatever. There is a local farm that I want to sign up for because they have community supported agriculture. And so that means that you pay in, right? You pay in every week or every month and you get some vegetables, right? And that helps the farm stay a farm, helps them to not be overtaken by these corporations that want to take them over. Small things can change the world. Small things can change the world. Now you're spending half the money you would spend at a grocery store at an organic farm, right? At an organic market by just going to the farm and supporting like face to face. Obviously, if you have access, not everybody has access, but look around. There are things that you can do. And we have been trained to protect. It's almost like we've been trained to be drones for America. We've been trained to be, it's like they've brainwashed us into must protect the hive at all costs, right? Like must protect the hive. Like they have hijacked our imaginations and our critical thinking and our morals and our intuition. Does that make sense? And they have programmed us to protect this no matter what, even if it comes at our own detriment. Like bees will die protecting the hive. Bees will literally die protecting the hive, protecting the queen, protecting the larva, right? The babies. But we protecting this for what? Like, what do we get out of this? They protect that for a reason. You know what I'm saying? What are we protecting America for? How are we benefiting from this? They have literally made us drones where when someone is saying liberation, we are taught to destroy them. We are taught to discredit them. We're taught to see them as an enemy because technically they are, right? Technically they are an enemy of where we at, right? They are an enemy. And I don't mind being an enemy. I think and I wrote this down. Where's my thing? Something I wrote down, and if I can't find it, I'm just gonna paraphrase it. But it's like, what's standing between you and liberation is you caring about what white people think about you, is you trying to be respectable to monsters, right? Like on the other side of that is liberation. Let me see if I can I don't know, maybe it's not here. But the thought is, and I'll find it later and I'll share more about it. But like, you have to let go of your need to be liked by monsters. You have to let that go. You have to be okay with you being everything that white people hate. You have to be okay with being against the system. You have to be okay with that. It don't make me no never mind if no white people don't like me because they're not the people I'm trying to appeal to anyway. It's a good thing if a monster thinks ill of me, right? It's a good thing if somebody who values or devalues, I should say, Black women doesn't like me, right? Like, because they're not my people. Those are the monsters. And so I think it's like we have to stop protecting this monstrous system and these monstrous ideas. The idea of denying people healthcare because they don't have insurance or money is monstrously disgusting. There's no words in the English language that expresses how disgusting that is. That somebody who needs help because they're experiencing a medical crisis is turned away because they don't have money. Money. And we're okay with that. That is normal to us. Or I should say that is normalized, right? Because we must protect the hive at all costs, right? Because it puts fear into us. Oh God, I don't want that to happen to me. So now I have to work hard to get enough money to protect this system so that they'll see me as good and not as enemy. So they won't turn me away. You see how they're weaponizing ill done to other people against us? It's the same as on the plantation. Let me make an example out of somebody so these slaves don't get out of line. It's the same playbook. And we have to wake up and stop caring. This is why even like the bonnet conversation keeps coming up, because that is to me, that's like a microcosm of a greater issue, right? It's not about the bonnet. It's never been about the actual satin bonnet. Let's be clear. It's always about perception. It's always been about what other people think about Black people because Black people don't get to be individuals, right? Because if they hurt you, they're going to harm me too. And why is that? Because I'm not willing to perform whiteness? I'm Black. I shouldn't have to conform. That don't make no sense. My hair is not straight, right? My skin is not white. Like, why would you expect me, a black woman, to be a white woman? I'm not that. And so I think, like, culturally, I'm not that. That is not my culture. That's not my background. And luckily for me, shout out to my ancestors, I live in a time where I am privileged enough where I get to do whatever I want, as much as I can. I get to do whatever I want. And so I'm going to present myself. I'm going to show up how I want to naturally show up, because I'm not performing for the white male gaze, because I am free. And if you think a person wearing a bonnet on their head means they deserve less respect, you're an awful person. I don't know how to say that kindly. If you think because of how someone dresses, they deserve less kindness, you're a monster, and they have made you into a monster. If you think someone being denied food and healthcare and clean water and a nice house, right? Fresh air, because they don't have money, if you think that's okay, you're a monster. Congratulations, they've made you a drone to protect the hive at all costs. And so when we're talking about these, when we have these visions for a new world, we have to be careful. And I'm saying this to you as I'm saying it to myself, of minding what you're taking in, minding what you're watching, what you're listening to, who you're listening to, who you're going to, excuse me, for advice. Because some people are just protecting the hive, right? Some people, even if they don't know they are, because, and for many reasons, right? They're afraid. They don't know any other way. No one ever showed them that it was possible, or they never knew they had permission to do it. But then there are those who do just want to sabotage progress, right? And we have grace for the former group of people, but the latter, you got to be careful with that. These are people who want to win capitalism. These are people who don't have interest in changing the world and making it a better place for all of us, because they want to rule. They want to reign. They want their time in the sun. They want their time to be slave master. You feel me? Like, they want what was promised to them, power. They want power more than they want liberation. They want power more than they want people to be healthy, people to be well and cared for. They would rather have power than people be respected. These are dangerous human beings. And if we're not careful, we can all become that person. We can all become that cynical. We can all become that power hungry, especially when we're valuing money above everything else. Like, especially when we're giving any credence to money at all. Like, money is not liberating. Money is all consuming. Money is, like, in real life, right? Like, we have to have money. Money is necessary only under this system. But if we create a new system where money is not necessary, where the endless hours of trying to just scrape by and trying to earn enough money to eat tonight, like, if we could create a society where that doesn't exist, we'll all be greater for it. We'll have quality food. Like, even the idea of underpaying people who feed us, that always blows my mind. People working in food restaurants are getting paid. So I used to be a server. So first of all, my first job was McDonald's. I have a whole video about that. But I used to be a server at Applebee's and Lucky Strike, right? And two very different venues or whatever, but it always blew my mind. So servers, when I worked there, I made $2 an hour. And everything else I had to make with tips. At Applebee's, I made $2 an hour. Applebee's is making so much money on their food, on their product. It's not even like, we're not even talking like high grade product. You feel me? We're talking like, it's Applebee's. And I love an Applebee's, okay? Don't get me wrong. But like, even in Lucky Strike, you're getting paid like what, $3 an hour and still working for tips. And the fact that we think that that's okay is crazy. The fact that we think that it's okay for people who are sustaining us with food. And I'm talking about the server. I'm talking about the person at McDonald's in the drive-through window. I'm talking about the grocer. These people, I'm talking about the farmer. I'm talking about the hands, right? The people in the actual field. I hate the way that sounds. But like that are pulling, and the day laborers, the people working and pulling the fruits off the trees, and those people, right? They're paid the least, but they're the most important. Hello? They're the most important. Without them, we die, because none of us have farms. I mean, maybe you do that you're listening, but you're very rare. Please know that you're blessed, okay? Lucky you. But most of us, I live in an apartment. I don't even have land. Right? And I'm relying on these people to bring food to me, but they're paid the least and they're the least respected. You're looking down on people at McDonald's, but McDonald's are often in food deserts, right? And for a lot of people, this is the only food they got. This is the only access they have to hot food. You know what I'm saying? We get beside ourselves. It's just the fact that we have all agreed socially that that's okay is insane, because if we didn't agree, we would be fighting harder for people to get paid more. You know what I'm saying? We would be fighting harder for that. But instead, we're arguing reasons, and I just never understand that. We're trying to find reasons. We're trying to argue reasons why people don't deserve goodness. That will never be weird and psychotic and very strange to me. All these debate panels about what is necessary and what is good and da-da-da-da-da. Like, why are we debating humanity? Why are we debating whether or not people deserve healthcare and food? Why are we debating about what goodness you deserve versus what goodness what are we doing? What are we really doing? Like, we are not serious. We are not serious. You know what I'm saying? And even, and I like, and I get it. Like, I'm on YouTube too, but like, even some of the things, I'm frustrated because, okay, we talk about it, and now what? Now what can we do? And shout out to the people who are actually doing it, because I follow a lot of people who are actually doing work too. So it's not everybody, but it's a lot. It's a lot of people trying to earn money about talking about the thing, about tearing the thing to pieces, for their own ego's sake. But okay, you get to the heart of it, and now what? Now what? What can we do with all this information, right? Like, what can we actually do? Is this even helpful? Is this like, and I'm not saying that the work is the same for everybody, because everybody has different work, right? Some people do just, talk and share ideas, right? And also some people take the idea and carry it out. But I feel like there's a lot of people just stopping there. Like, let's just talk about the idea. Embody it in your own personal life, in your own personal ways. If you got a friend group, send somebody some $20 sometimes. Hey, here you go. Just cause times are hard. Okay, gas is hot. Have you seen gas? Listen, I'm laughing to keep from crying. My right now the gas tank is on like a quarter tank of gas, and I was like, I was sitting there like, should I fill up or should I wait this out? I think I'm just gonna wait it out. Just because you don't want to have to see the numbers. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. But yeah, like things that are easy like that, right? Creating a gifting economy in your own life, right? If you got parents, if you got friends, if you create your own community, create your own society where you share resources, where no one has to go without because somebody got it, because we all got it. In an ideal world, what I see is wealthy folk giving money to poor folk. If we're still going to use money, that's what's going to have to happen. But people don't want to do that because I earned it and I did this and I, and whole time your whole life has been uplifted by the invisible people who are underpaid, the teacher, the janitor, right? The person in the drive-through window at McDonald's that gave you food in an extra large fry because you ain't had no money when you were studying for that, whatever. We are because we all are. We are all interdependent, and we forget that. You're not more important than the person that works at McDonald's. I'm sorry. You're not. Right? Because the person at McDonald's is still working in harm reduction and giving people food. I remember working at McDonald's, and this is not whatever, but there would be a hungry person that would come there for food, and we would give them free food. Doing the Lord's work, as they say, but being spat at in drive-through windows because I make less than you, because a job said that I'm worth less than you, and you believe them. That's the sad part. You believe them, because if you didn't believe them, you wouldn't be treating me like that, and you would also be fighting for me to get fairly paid. So I think we have a lot of internal work to do. Before the revolution, we have a lot of internal stuff to deal with ourselves, and it's okay, because we live in this impossible system made by evil, greedy, mean people. Like, again, the fact that I'm grieved by a lot of things. I'm very sensitive. And so the fact that bus stops don't have benches or covering if it rains, evil, wicked, because a lot of people in the area that I live are poorer. They are poor. They still deserve covering in the rain. But just because we're not near some rich place, they don't deserve covering? You see what I'm saying? Like, evil and cruelty is baked into the foundations of this country. You don't get America without blood, rape, violence. You don't get America without theft. You don't get America without inequality. When we talk about equality, they'll never let that happen. They'll never let equality happen because it tears apart their whole thing. Equality or equity, whatever word you want to use, justice, reparative justice, they're not interested in undoing what has brought them great pleasure, one, but also great wealth and great power and great access. So we need to think of a different plan. If we just all decided to opt out of this plan in whatever way that is, right? Fleshed it out, all the nuances. If we decided to stop, this whole thing stops and they crumble. But y'all got to be willing to let it crumble. Y'all got to be willing to stop being a drone. You got to be willing to stop protecting the hive, because the hive does not like you, does not care about you, is literally using you for fuel. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, money is not efficient. Capitalism is not efficient. Capitalism is evil and wicked and crooked and creates more problems than it solves. And it creates more problems. You know why it creates more problems? Because they can create more businesses to make money off of them problems. Why would they, oh my gosh, why would they be interested? Why would they be interested in keeping us all safe if they can make money off of our feeling unsafe? Right? Why would they give us healthy, clean food and water if they couldn't make money off of a premium of organic vegetables and fruits, off of medication, right? You know, and obviously medication is good. I'm not saying medication is bad, but you know what I'm talking about. Nuance. We are a nuanced people, okay? We are people who use nuance. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Why put, and again, liquor stores are also, and I'm not looking down on anybody with any addictions. Liquor stores are also community care. It's also a place, when COVID hit, they had to stay open. You feel me? Why are they paid less? But they out here with COVID. And you benefit from people's pain because you want to profit off of it. You feel me? So yeah, we really have to, we are blind to a lot of what we are complicit in, and we have to start checking ourselves. And, I'm starting with me first, you know what I'm saying? Me first. But we have to start checking ourselves about what we believe, why we believe that, where did that come from? Who does that serve, right? Is this for the greater good of everyone? Or does this benefit one person, one company, one group of people? You know what I'm saying? One class of people, right? How can we create a new society where everyone gets to live and thrive and be well? Capitalism is not the way. It's just not. There's no way you shake it, bend it, twist it, whatever, bop it. There's no way. It's impossible. Because our enslaved ancestors, our ancestors who were stolen from their home, dragged across the sea, dumped into the ocean for insurance money. That part, it'll enrage you, okay? Brought to a foreign land, made to toil that land, right, for free. That's how you get capitalism. Why do you think your job is miserable? Because it models the plantation, honey. You got overseers. You got the field that you're in. Listen to the language we use. What field are you in? Right? It's the plantation. Technically they have to pay you now, right? But just like back then, without the enslaved folk, you would have no economy. You would have nothing. You would have literally nothing, right? They would have no cotton to process in the North. You would have nothing. You feel me? And so from that, just in that same way, the people that we pay the least here are the most important, just like the enslaved people were the actual hands, feet, bodies of their economy. They need poor people for this economy to flourish. That's what I'm trying to say. It's the same thing. They need poverty. They need people to be poor. They need to underpay people to be wealthy. And what's interesting to me is that no one ever says we praise these companies for being, oh my gosh, a billionaire. Oh my gosh, $1 billion company. And we never consider how many people had to be enslaved to make them wealthy. How many people did you have to enslave? How much blood did you have to spill for that? How many people got sick because of what you sold to make $1 billion, right? Because you don't get that without underpaying the people that are under you. And the people that are under you are actually the people that are making you. Again, going back to that person at McDonald's, that one that kept you alive. That's the person. The janitor is the one stopping diseases. That's the person before it even begins. That's the person, and they're paying them the least. It's because it's slavery. It's the same system, except technically now they have to pay you. But the question of capitalism is, how little can I pay you for the most amount of labor and work? That's it. So yeah. I think that's the most of what I want to say. I can go on and on and on, but like, this is not working. And I wish that we were honest about that. Like, this is not working, and people desperately cling on and like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. If we just stay in it a little bit longer. No. It requires your death. Are you willing to die to be a millionaire? Are you willing? Like, let's be serious, because you are your ancestors, whether you think you are or not. You are them. They are with you, right? Like, do you think they would want you defending this system that enslaved them? Do you think that brings honor to them? Do you think they would be proud of that? Of course not. But think of your enslaved ancestors. That's what capitalism requires. There is someone working for free somewhere, someone being stolen from, someone being harmed and mistreated. And obviously, right, enslavement is its own terrible thing, right? And nothing can compare to that. But what I'm saying is, that's the model. The model is harm. How many people can I harm for the most amount of money? How many people can I rob? How many people can I enslave? How many people can I pay just enough so that they'll stay with me, but not enough that they'll leave? Like an abusive partner. That's just America with Black folks. That's the plantation. That is capitalism. That is what you have. I don't care what name. I don't care that's not the definition. We can play that game about what the actual definition of capitalism is, but I deal with reality. Okay. I deal with reality. I'm looking at what capitalism is, and that's exactly what it is. Who can I harm for profit? And how many people can I get to buy this harmful thing? It doesn't matter. You can cut corners. Doesn't matter if it's bad. Doesn't matter if it can, cause harm. It doesn't matter, because money is the point. And money is why we are here. And money is why we cannot get free, because we value money above life. We value money above justice. We value money above our own morals, our own beliefs, our own convictions. Money is not efficient. Money is not necessary. There are whole societies before money, and there will be whole societies after. So what are we finna build? What else can we create? Use your imagination. Stop giving them your imagination. I mean, even as an artist, like making money the point of my artistry, or what is the word I'm looking for? Making it necessary for me to make money so I can continue to make art complicates the process, right? Like the pursuit of money, the need for money, like making money a need is really like the stumbling block for so many of us. So many of us would do the thing, would leave the thing, would change the thing, would just be the thing, be the person, right? If we had the money. And it's like they created the money to keep us enslaved. They created the money to keep us stuck, to keep us consistently earning and making and earning, right? So that we can never be free enough or rested enough to either think of a new reality or actually live our lives. Like, a lot of us are working until we're 65 or whatever the age is now, because who knows what is retirement for any of us. But like, a lot of us are working to, like, we're 65 to eventually live. Like, it's almost like we're indentured servants, like being punished for being born. We are being punished for being born here. And because you are born here, they have told you that making money is the point of your life. And if you don't make that the point of your life, you're punished for it. You're disowned by society. You are denied healthcare. Like what? You are denied care for your body. You are literally rejected from society if you don't make money or earning money or acquiring money. Or, I feel like that's a big reason why people don't let go of their wealth too, because if they let go of their wealth, they're thinking to themselves, well, who am I? Right? Like, well, who am I then if I don't have this money? Because we've made our entire purpose and our entire identity centered around money. How much you got, how much you don't have, right? Even certain, like, you know what I'm saying? It's money is the tool that binds us. Money is the thing that binds us. And obviously, because we all use nuance here. Like, obviously, yes, like because we live under the capitalist system, we have to earn money. And as an artist, I hate that. I was talking about that recently with somebody, and like I hate that I hate that my art has to make me money, but it does because I have to eat. Like, I hate marketing myself. I hate if I could, I would do stuff for free, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is my heart, but that's not the system we all agree to. That's not the societal structure we're agreeing to right now. Until we disagree with it, that's going to be where we are. And so for me, I'm just like, can we get to the point where we disagree with it so that we can actually have a good life? Think about all the people who couldn't pursue their dreams because money was in the way. Think about all the people who wanted to become doctors, who had the passion to become a doctor or a teacher, right? They wanted to become a doctor, but they couldn't afford school. They wanted to become a teacher, but teachers don't pay enough. You feel like we're missing out on so much goodness, on the medicine that people came here with because of money. Money is in the way. Money is in the way for all of us. And if we lean more into a gifting economy, if we lean more into generosity, right? If we leaned more into just kindness, then we wouldn't have to make money the reason why we live. If we could create a structure or a system where there are people who agree to care for people's bodies and things like that in what is the word I'm looking for? In exchange for food, in exchange for something else, right? Like, because the person who is farming is also creating medicine. They're planting food. The doctor and the farmer are both important, right? Like they both have value. The teacher is just as important, right? As the janitor. These people lifting up the people, turning the thing upside down. Like right now we're upside down, turning it right side up. Upholding the people that care for all of us. Like that is how we're going to make it through. Not leaning into systems that are seeking to destroy us. Not again, shout out to Audre Lorde, not using the slave master's tools to tear down his house. No, like we must put down those things and craft our own tools, create our own societies, have our own plans. So that the people that we desperately need, the people that have the passions to do the things that we need, can do their work without worrying about where they're going to rest their head tonight, without worrying about what they're going to eat tonight. Meanwhile, there are people who are passionate about cooking. There are people who are passionate about nourishing the body, right? We have all the makings of a society, and this world, the world is in like the West, like this world, this version of the world that they created. They're trying to convince us that we don't have the power, but we hold all the cards. What do you mean you don't know what to do when you're the one being underpaid for doing that work? Of course you know what to do. You're closest to the ground, And so, yeah, like the gifting economy is just one way. It's just one door, right? But to me, that's the thing that makes sense. If you have it and somebody needs it, give it and trust that when it's your turn to receive, that you will have what you need because the other person is taken care of. Think about it, right? If you had $100,000 and somebody else had zero, and you give, I hate thinking in terms of money, but let's just go here, right? And you give them 50, right? And you both have 50. Now, if something were to happen, it's not all on you, nor is it all on them. And if something were to happen to you, now you have things that you need because you have cared for community, and now community gets to care for you, right? It really is. Let me think of a different example. because I don't want to use money, but like I'm thinking about this, right? Like how the wealthy complain, "Oh, they're stealing my stuff. They're stealing my things." Well, if you weren't hoarding resources, if you weren't flashing your fancy things in front of people who are living in poverty, right? Like, and I'm not saying that that's the reason why people get stolen from, nor am I saying that stealing is good. Okay? But I'm also saying that yeah, if you have inequality, people are going to steal. Yeah. If like what? Are we okay? If you have if you have wealth inequality, people are going to try to make that right. People are going to try to make that right. Are they going about it the right way? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not the judge of that. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Maybe not, right? But also, they're trying to right or wrong. And I guess for me, it's like, obviously it depends on what you're stealing. Like, if you're stealing food, yeah. They're like, I don't, like, okay, if they're stealing food and you have the means to replace it, and you know that they stole the food because they're hungry, why would that make you mad? What should make you angry is that people are starving, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Let's focus on the right things. If we remove the cruelty, the evil root of all these systems in our world, then everyone would be okay. If we took care of each other, if we built good relationships with one another, right? Then you have somebody watching your back. Right? Like if we take care of our rivers and our trees, then we're going to have good water to drink and good air to breathe. Right? It's reciprocal. It's give and take because it's a good thing to do. You know what I'm saying? My mother has, I think I talked about this before. My mother has plants in her house and all she does is take care of them and they take care of her. They purify the air just because that's what they were designed to do. Right? Just like some people were brought here to do the work they were meant to do, but money is in the way. Money is fake. Money is a fake tool created by monsters to keep people out, to keep people down, to gain control and power. Like they rigged the game in their favor. That's like if I created Monopoly and I said, "Oh yeah, now this is the real money we're going to use and I'm going to hoard all of it." What? It's not real. That's money. That's money. So much, like think of all the things we've lost because of money. Think of all the lives we have lost because of money and war. Like think at home. All the lives we've lost because of money. Because somebody couldn't get the health care they needed. Because somebody couldn't get the healthy food they needed. Because this person lived in an area that wasn't conducive for life. Think about that. Think of how many dreams we have lost because of money. Because money is in the way. Think of all the medicine for our healing we need that we have not gotten because money is in the way. There are a lot of things in the way, right, of our liberation, but money is one of them. And we got to start being clever. We got to start thinking beyond this system, this wealth that was created from the enslavement of our ancestors. We have to think outside the box. We have to be generous. If we were generous, we wouldn't need to work so hard to earn money. If we were kind and generous to one another, if we shared resources, we wouldn't have to, oh my gosh, we wouldn't have to work so hard to gain money. And I'm stumbling over my words because I put something out on Threads that basically said, if we just cared for each other, it would destroy the system. It's really that simple. To get free, we got to care about each other. It's really that simple. You got to care about the collective. You got to care about your fellow man just as much as you care about yourself. That is the revolution. Kindness, generosity, all those things that y'all poo-poo and call childish, that is the revolution. That is how we get free. But people have to be willing to share. And what's interesting is people who have the least amount of money share the most. People who have what I have witnessed. When you're looking at these billionaires or whatever sharing money or whatever, like donating, first of all, they're donating to their friends what do you call it? Friends nonprofits. Okay? They're getting a check back. They're getting not a check back. They're getting a kickback. They're getting a tax write-off, right? Like they're doing it because it benefits them, because it makes them look good, because it's good PR, because when somebody criticizes them, you're going to say, well, this person did that, that, and that. Meanwhile, people who are poor are upholding everybody. They keep all their money in rotation. So say if a person had $1 billion and they were sharing 0.005% of their wealth, poor people are sharing 25% of their wealth with their mothers, their children, their neighbors, the elderly neighbor across the street, right? People are using their vehicles to carry their own neighbor so they can go get groceries because they live in a food desert. Like that's People who are poor are the most generous on this planet, and you need to go to poor people to ask for answers. Go to the most marginalized people to ask for answers. They will show you how to survive, and they will show you how to make a dollar out of 15 cents. They will show you what mutual aid actually looks like. Ask me how I know. One, I am the poor people, but also I am upheld by other poor people. We keep money in rotation. Everybody eats. Nobody starves. Everyone is taken care of. I don't care if we only got $25. We're going to make a meal out of that. We're going to figure something out. Those are the people that need to lead this. Money is in the way. It's not the people with all the money. They don't have the answers. They're upholding the system. Does that make sense? So anyway, and obviously it's the broad strokes. And specifically, I'm talking about white men in power with money and white women in power with money. And also capitalists. We need to stop listening to capitalists. Hard stop. They don't have the answers. They're upholding the system. They're looking to win the system. They are compromised. Until they're willing to put down that ambition, they're not helpful. And they can be dangerous to progression. To us actually living a life slow enough for a life to be lived. Right? What we're doing right now is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The way that we're living is absolutely ridiculous. And we think it's normal. It's not normal. This is not okay. There are other ways to live. We have to just get creative about it. And I'm going to share more in the future, but I want to have more. I want to do something in the future so that we can create a new future together. Even in small ways. And so I offered some ideas here, but we'll get more to that because we can actually create the world that we want to live in. We can do it. It is possible. We are already doing it in small ways, especially the poor folks. You are already doing it. You're already upholding everything. This world revolves because you work it. Because you're getting up early and getting on the bus. You're going to work to feed the people, to feed the masses, to make people coffee. Because of you. It's time that we start empowering these people to do the work that they were brought here to do. You feel me? So yes, I think that's it. I think I'm done. But thank you for listening. Okay. Have a great day. Have a great day. Bye-bye.